I keep hearing the same thing. The market is on fire. What's happening is crazy, and everybody is going into this bidding wars when it comes to buying or selling a house. I want you to educate my consumers. I know that most people will have a general understanding of what a bidding war is, but I think that we need to dissect this a little deeper. So just to give people a better understanding of what this means, how to handle it, when does it take place and whatnot. So what is a bidding war?
Bidding war basically is when the seller directs his agent to only accept offers at a specific day and time. So they'll have, 2, 3, 20, sometimes 80 or 90 offers coming in on one day between the certain hours, right? And they'll review all of them at that time. And then they decide to work with whatever ones they want to work with. It's all blind. The buyers have no idea what everybody else is offering. And the selling agent will go back to the buying agent and say, hey, you need to improve your offer. You need to, step up, whatever. And the buying agents go back to their clients, their customers, and say, we're not the top bid. We need to step up. What more do you want to do? How much more do you want to pay? That's what the bidding war is, or a multiple offer situation.
So, here is a question for you, and please forgive my ignorance because I don't know, I don't really know anything about this. Over the last few years, I keep hearing that, maybe you should contact the selling agent directly, and then that way you save some money. How is that legal? Because, aren't you supposed to have the judiciary duty to represent the seller in the exchange?
So Ontario does allow multiple representation where the listing agent can also represent a buyer. It is legal.
Okay.
Sometimes, it's you have to walk a very tight line on that one because now you have obviously when you're bringing an offer from the buyer and you're also representing the seller, and if there's other offers as well from other agents, you already know the top numbers and so on. So you're able to give your buyer inside information, so to speak. It's one of those things that we probably shouldn't allow in Ontario.
So do you think it's a good idea for customers to try to avoid finding a buying agent as opposed to just dealing directly with the selling agent?
Well, when a customer is buying a property, they're not going to save any money significantly. Most of the savings, if there's anything, goes to the seller of the property because maybe they get a reduction on the commission that they're paid, right? But rarely do I see that reduction being passed to the buyer.
Interesting. And the reason why I ask this, and I know that we're talking about bidding wars when it comes to real estate, is because, what interest or what desire would a selling agent have to give a buyer a lower price? Because the lower the price, the lower the commission they make. So, I always felt that there was a bit of a conflict of interest in there. But, let's circle this back to this bidding wars. I've heard the term before, and I don't know exactly what it means. What is a preemptive offer? When there is a bidding war, you have a specific day in which you will not take any offers before. This is the day that you need to come up with your best foot forward. What is a preemptive offer?
Well, let's say the seller is instructed his agent to accept offers next Friday, and I go see the house this weekend, and I really love it, and I don't want to wait till next Friday, and I don't want to get into a multiple offer situation. So I instruct my agent to submit an offer. The offer has got to be a really good number, one that makes the seller think, I'm not going to get more. I'm going to take this now. This is probably the best I'm going to get. So that's also called a bully offer. You're trying to bypass the whole offer date, the whole bidding war thing. You're just saying, hey, I want this place. I'm going to give you the top dollar, but this is, you have a limited time to decide. Otherwise, I walk away. And it works most of the time.
So this preemptive or bully offer, does it always have to be above asking?
Yeah, unfortunately, in our situation in Ontario, especially in Southern Ontario, almost nothing sells at asking price anymore. Everything sells well above asking price. And yeah, the bully offer, it has to be a number that makes the seller go, this is it. I got all the money I can get, right? You're not gonna win a house by offering just the asking price.
So, wouldn't that perpetuate and almost essentially guarantee that you will always be overpaying for the house? How do you know when you're overpaying?
There is no way to know it because this is a very subjective thing. What's the value of a house? Two people can have very different feelings about a house and what they think the value is. Because it's so emotional a lot of the times, right? Can you be overpaying? Possibly. But that's where your agent, your the guy that's working with you, or the woman that's working with you, has to provide you with very good advice. They have to show you what other houses are selling for in the area, where the market's going, what are the potential problems for paying more than this number or less than that number. The agent you're working with is your professional that represents you. That's why you should always use a buying agent because they represent you. They're looking out for your interests.
It's a very interesting concept because, in this case, you're having a buying agent is probably the only person that is going to be not emotionally attached to this transaction and is going to be able to add some objectivity to the whole process of buying a house. Now, when you get into this bully offer or preemptive offer, or you are in a bidding war, when you hear the sentence, you need a clean, firm offer. What is a clean offer?
A clean, firm offer means no conditions. And so if the seller agrees to your number, it's done. It's a done deal. The buyer gives them the deposit and then just waits for the closing to happen. So what do I mean by no conditions? That means that you don't have a financing clause. So if you haven't been pre-approved or if you haven't got qualified for your mortgage, you don't have that you can't get out of the deal because you couldn't get your mortgage approved. It also means that there's no house inspection. If the seller didn't provide one, you can still do one, but you can't use whatever you find in the inspection as a reason to get out of the deal. So that's what it means by a clean, firm offer.
But doesn't that put you in a bit of a risk position because now you're taking all the liability? What if you can't get approved? What if the home doesn't pass the inspection? I mean, how do you deal with that?
Well, first of all, everybody who's looking to buy a property now should talk to their banker or the mortgage broker and get a pre-approval. That's an absolute. Even if they're going to put an offer with a mortgage clause, they should know what they're going to be approved for before they start shopping. Like, when you go to the store to buy clothing, you can't go buy $2,000 worth of clothing if you got $100 in your pocket, right? So you need to know how much you can afford and what your payments are and so on. So I strongly recommend getting pre-approved first. As far as the house inspection, it's not really a pass or fail. There's very few times where I've seen there's a significant issue revealed in the house inspection, but it is a risk. This is the risk you take when you get into a multiple offer situation and you don't put in those clauses. And your buying agent will talk to you about it and will, give you guidance on that.
I guess another question that I have for you is this: when it comes to, you getting pre-approved, do you need to go through the entire approval process before you go and buy a house to avoid any potential disaster when it comes to closing?
Yes, I would. When you're dealing with your mortgage broker or your bank, and I've always recommended the mortgage brokers, they're gonna gather all the paperwork.
Okay, hold on a second. Hold that thought for 1 second. Hold that thought. Why do you always recommend the mortgage broker as opposed to the bank?
Well, because mortgage brokers working for you, not for the bank. So they're gonna offer you products from multiple lenders, right? If you go to your local Big Five bank, they're only offering the products that their bank sells, right? So you're gonna go to the store, the Apple store. All you can buy is Apple. Well, if you go to Best Buy, you can buy Apple, you can buy Samsung, you can buy Huawei, you can buy whatever you want, right? So that's why a mortgage broker is better than working at the bank. Like a guy like Money Mike. Probably the best thing to do is talk to Money Mike before you buy a house.
Yeah, and believe it or not, I had no idea about this because, I never really had the need to do this. But Money Mike also within his, wealth management team, they have a mortgage division. So they handle mortgages within the Money Mike, ecosystem in there. So, it's something that we should probably discuss, afterwards. But, so going back to this bidding war, how can a regular person like myself, because I'm a pretty regular dude, how can a regular person ensure that they win that war, the bidding war? You see the house, this is the house of your dreams, you see yourself living in it, you want this. How can you ensure that you win it? Because, if it's anything like an auction, whenever you go to buy a car, and, you've been exposed to this, Faizel, in the past, often the person that wins the car at the auction is the person that was willing to pay the most. So it's not a particularly good situation.
Well, it's exactly the same thing when you're buying a house, right? If you want to,
that's great.
If you fall in love with that house and you want it, you have to be prepared to pay all the money. It's a very difficult situation. That's why your agent, the guy or gal that you're working with, will provide you with the guidance. They'll say to you, they'll tell you, look, okay, this is what the asking price is for this house. These are what other similar houses sold for in the area. This is where I think we should be at in order to get this. And then you have to be prepared maybe for a small little bump, because chances are the selling agent's going to come back for a little bump. Try and goose you for a little bit more.
So ultimately, the only thing that you need to do to win a bidding war is just to be the highest paying person, period. But what else could come into place other than money? Conditions?
Well, obviously, yeah. If you've got conditions in there, I've seen situations where the seller has taken less money, but a clean offer. So the buyer A offered, let's say $800,000, and buyer B offered $820,000, but buyer B had a finance clause and an inspection clause, and the seller said, no, for $20,000, I don't want to take the risk that they may back out. I'll just take the one I know is firm. For the seller, they just want to get the house sold, right?
That is correct. Folks, if you're just tuning in, you're listening to the Greg Carrasco Show here. We're Canada's largest automotive radio show, but we, from time to time, we have guests that are experts in their specific field. And right now we have my friend Faizel, who is a real estate agent, and I've done business with him in the past, and I trust him, period. So he's trying to explain to us a little bit more about bidding wars and how to put yourself in a favorable position. But if you want to get more information on this, or if you're in the process of buying or selling a house, you can probably send him an email at info@micasaagent.com, info@micasaagent.com, or you can call him directly at 416-399-4227. His name is Faizel, and I've known Faizel for about 15 years or so. So Faizel, is this ever going to end, man? Because it's insane what we are seeing. The prices keep going up. Houses keep selling for more than people are asking for. It seems like very soon it will be almost impossible for somebody to be able to afford anything in Southern Ontario. Is Toronto the new Manhattan? Is this ever going to end?
It's certainly Toronto and Vancouver, for that matter, have been very hot markets. And it's not just Toronto anymore. It's the whole GTA everywhere around. There are all the industry experts are expecting things to cool off into this year, early next year, and then become more normal. The biggest issue is just lack of inventory, and there's more buyers than there are houses available, and that's the problem, right? When you have that kind of a market, people want it, right? And so people want them, so they'll pay more than they would normally would. If only that would work. That's the way it works in the car business, huh?
If you, yeah, it certainly is. I mean, if you owned a property in, Toronto or Oakville or Mississauga for that matter, do you think that this is the right time to sell?
Well, there's always, yeah. I mean, it depends on what you want to do. If you decided to move up in size, or you decided to downsize or move out of the city, yeah, it's a good time to sell, because it is a seller's market. You are going to get top dollar for your property. Of course, when you buy, you're going to be paying top dollar as well, right? Because the vast majority of sellers are still buyers, right?
No, absolutely. And unless you're planning to seriously downsize or move outside of the particular area that you're living in, you're gonna exchange dollars per dollars. But one of the things that I've been thinking about over the last little while, is something that relates directly almost to the car business, Faizel, is that, how to prepare yourself and your house for a sale. Just like how would you prepare your used car when you're planning to trade it in? A lot of people don't really think about this, but whenever you come to the dealership and try to trade in your vehicle, if your vehicle is just a mess, you are going to reduce the value of that car significantly by doing nothing. So, there are many things that people need to do in order for them to get top dollar for their trade-in vehicle. And, as something as simple as cleaning it. Which is, some people just seem to not do that in cars, and I think the can is one of them, if I'm not mistaken. Am I accurate with this assessment of your car situation there, Ken?
No, it's I'd like to take good care of the interior of my car, but like in the past, I will lie. There have been times where it has gotten a little bit out of hand, where you might be cleaning it out and you find like an old McDonald's wrapper or something under the seat, which I'm not too proud of. But for the most part, I try to keep it pretty tight.
Well, I think that there's a process that probably should happen before you put the house into the market. I know that there are stagers that now you can hire, and photographers and people that do drone shots of your house. I think that the next time you come on the show, Faizel, I really want you to talk about different ways to maximize the value of your home when you're planning to sell it. As a prolific listing agent that you are, I think that you may have some secrets up your sleeve as to what people can do. Clearly, other than calling you, because that's what you do, right? People call you and you just make these things go away. Isn't that what you do?
That's my job, is to just make all their problems go away and fix it, right?
Next time you come on the show, I really want you to explore that and dissect it. How busy are you these days? Because man, the activity that I see happening in the real estate market right now is quite remarkable, considering that we're just coming out of a pandemic. How busy are you?
Oh, extremely. We got so many people looking for properties, doing so many offers, and fortunately, for the most buyers, it takes 2 or 3 offers before they finally get the house that they want, right? So yeah, a lot of work, a lot of paperwork.
Well, I want to thank you again for, making your brain available to all my listeners here on the show. Folks, if you need help in buying a house or selling a house, listing a house, or you want some advice on anything that has to do with your real estate needs, come and see my buddy Faizel. He will help you out. You can send him an email at info@micasaagent.com, or you can call him at 416-399-4227, and he will point you in the right direction. Perhaps that is the best phone call that you will ever make. Faizel, thank you so much for calling the Carrasco Show, and hopefully we'll see you within the next couple of weeks. Is that okay?
Oh, great. No, thank you, Greg, and we'll talk to you later.